Okay, so we're back on the toilet. I haven't done a toilet voiceover in a while. I just faked it before. You'd never know. This room has the perfect acoustics. All right. So that first set, I got 17 reps, and after I do as many, I'll do a 17, and then I'll let go, and then I take a break, like 3-4 second break, and then I do two more reps, and I start from like a full hang at the bottom, just so I can get my workout over and done with faster. And the chin-up sessions are just you just get 50 reps, and then you're good. And you do that 3 days a week, and that's all you need to do for your lats. Well, and you get to your deadlifts and your Romanian deadlifts, but you don't need to do seated rows, bent over dumbbell rows, bent over barbell rows. All right, guys. Oh, yeah, this is gonna be. Okay, see, when you're this fucking huge, you gotta drive in the truck lane, okay? And hopefully people can't see what I'm doing. I don't know if they're gonna be more concerned about me crashing into somebody, or if they're just gonna think I'm a fucking douchebag. Well, obviously I'm a fucking douchebag. I did squats a little later in the day. That's why there was that little truck clip. And so I went to the kitchen to go pick up my 7-string. And I'm not very happy with how the guy set it up. It's supposed to be an open C, and it is. But he used tiny string gauges, like the string gauges that Yngwie Malmsteen would use. So their strings are so fucking floppy, and it doesn't hold tune, even though it's an Evertune guitar. Okay? Holy shit. You could easily bend the like you could bend the C, which would be normally the E string. Okay, you could bend that up like 2.5 steps. Okay, the strings are so fucking loose. So I'm not gonna take it back there again. But thankfully I still have my Les Paul. And anyways, we're doing squats here. This is 503.2, and the second set is just 10 reps. And but anyways, my Les Paul is thankfully it's Old Faithful. It's like a Japanese knockoff of a Les Paul from the early 70s, because in the 70s Les Paul or Gibson wasn't able to get the old wood that they wanted to do some sort of sanctions. But that Japanese company was still able to get those old woods. I think like ebony was one of them. And anyways, that guitar is set up really well. I just got to get a different pickup to make it sound a little better, because that one's a little outdated. And if you're playing with an amp and no noise gate, that thing will that thing will have so much fucking feedback. Okay. Food time. This is the supper part 2. I didn't record the first part because as my sauce, I made breakfast sausage again because I just need to get rid of them, because they come in a pack of, I don't know, like 30. And so you just got to end up using, you got to use them, okay, for something. And so I'll do a meal like this where I just eat it. Today it's just 8 because I had one package of Bulldog, which is really good. It's too bad it has some, I think there's some soy in it. But, you have it once in a while. Why not? So, today was squats and chin-ups like every Sunday. Squats felt pretty good. Chin-ups felt pretty good. I got like 17 reps my first set, but I won't show the whole set just because it takes forever and it would just be really boring. I've had a lot of positive reception for my videos, especially my deadlift video. And there's only been a few people that, there's been one guy that really doesn't like, there's one guy that really doesn't like me. Then there's a weird guy And if you're filming the series, you read the comments. I always read the comments on videos, so not just my videos, other videos too. Lots of times it's a mistake. And then there's two guys. There's two guys that one guy told me what I was doing wasn't worth the risk to my health. And then another guy told me my deadlift form was wrong. Okay. He told me that my legs shouldn't be straight when the bar's past my knees. If your legs aren't straight when the bar's past your knees, you're hitching. Okay? Get the fuck out of here, big brain boy. And the guy that said what I was doing wasn't worth the damage to my health. He got a bunch of replies. People were breaking his fucking balls. Yeah, it's pretty good. I wasn't really expecting that much positive, that many positive reviews, because that video probably has over a 99% like rate. My deadlift video, and it's almost 12,000 views. And I've had my channel for a long time. I used to record lots of music, but and of all the music I recorded, when I look back on it, I really don't like most of it. It's bad. But I have a few songs, more that I've written recently, and they're like Dino Synth, which is like, it's really nerdy, obviously. But it's dinosaur inspired. I like dinosaurs since I was a kid. I really like Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 2. And that was kind of, the 90s was kind of the dinosaur era. So if you grew up in the early 90s, maybe even the mid 90s, then you were into dinosaurs. There's a cartoon movie called We're Back. And if you know that one, you know what I'm talking about. And then there's the Disney movie Dinosaur. That one's with the talking dinosaurs. Of course, it's Disney, so you gotta have talking dinosaurs. We're Back is talking dinosaurs too. Most of that is it's synthesizers and guitar, but I used to record metal music and don't like most of it. I have a few songs that I've written recently that I like. One of them I haven't released, and I have better versions of the other two that I haven't released either. And that's my hobby, so I'll spend time once in a while, and I'll write a song when I'm inspired. And but anyways, I'm glad that I'm a lot better as a weightlifter than I am as a musician. It seems being good at music, especially metal music, is really tough. And it's tough because I'm the kind of guy where I compare myself to other people a lot. So if Devin Townsend is my favorite, it's a metal musician. If I compare myself to him, I'm like, wow, my music's fucking terrible. But my new songs, it is. My old songs obviously are terrible, but my newer songs, if I compare them to other modern metal acts, then I'm thinking it's half decent. Especially the stuff that I'm subscribed to Nuclear Blast Records, and they've got a lot of shit that comes out, and especially power metal. I remember when I used to think that wasn't Merry Men music, like Dragon Force. I don't like Dragon Force. It wouldn't be one of my videos if I wasn't spilling food all over my shirt. A guy asked me if it's dumb to deadlift without a belt. I mean, I do all my warm-ups without a belt, but once you've had a back tweak, you're going to wish you had a fucking belt on. Although you can tweak your back with a belt on, because I've done that more times than I've tweaked my back without a belt. But the brace is a lot stronger with the belt on, and you can get a good belt. My belt is Rogue Canada or whatever, and it's the 13 millimeter powerlifting belt. And I think my size is extra large. It's just based on your waist circumference. And so I recommend that one, because there's the other one, the weightlifting belt, which is 10 millimeter. The 13 millimeter is like a totally different ball game in terms of support. Once you have the 13 millimeter one on, it makes the 10 millimeter one feel like a belt you'd wear on your pants. And then depending on how long your torso is, that you might want to get a different belt's width or or height. And so mine's a 4-inch belt. I have a longer torso. If you have a shorter torso, so the space between your floating rib and your pelvis isn't very far, then maybe a 3-inch belt's better for you. But the belt that has the big back and the skinny front, that's a fucking total dumbass gimmick waste of money. Do not buy that. The kind you see the old men wear in like movies from the 80s. And they have their bitch mitts on. They're working on their knowledge machine with short shorts and a tank top. Do not buy one of those belts. If that's the only belt you have, then whatever, just work with it. And then when you feel like spending the money, then get the good belt. Obviously, get one that just has one prong, because the double prong one, because you need it to be tight, and the double prong one can be a motherfucker to get off. I've never tried a lever belt. I don't think it's any better. There are belts that have one prong, and then the holes are offset, so it'll be like one here, one here, one here, one here, and that way there's more in between sizes. So you can, if you're growing rapidly, if you're getting a lot of weight, or if you're losing a lot of weight, then you can have a more convenient spot for you. But if you're in between belts like holes, then just put on an extra t-shirt, maybe 2 extra t-shirts, and then go in the looser setting, and then that should put you in the right spot. Somebody asked me about figure 8 straps, and if they're worth the money, or if the sizing mattered. I've only tried one size, so I'm not sure. I like the size that I have, and they'll give you the sizing chart on Amazon. Mine are Serious Steel Fitness, and so it says SSF, red writing, black straps, and mine are, I think, medium, 70 centimeter, and so they'll give you one. Then you just got to measure your wrist, okay, and it'll give the right sizing for you. I used to use the normal wraps, but I had Harbinger leather wraps, and I broke 2 of them, and it was during an important set, which was a motherfucker. And I was doing 675. I did 2 reps. Third rep, the one arm blew. The one went on one arm, and obviously that screwed up my fucking workout. Then I went out and I got some. Right after that, my brother and I we went to Sport Check, and I figured I'd get some cotton wraps so that I could finish my workout properly. All they had was hook straps, okay, and so it goes on the inside of your hand like this, and then it's curled over like this. And I do 675, and it lasted 4 reps, almost 4 reps. When I got to the top, and I had to bend my knees so the bar didn't immediately drop because the weight had fucking bent the hooks. Man, those hooks ones they'll work, but just for lightweight. So anyways, I got the figure 8 straps because they're the thickest material, and so far they've been pretty good. I've done a lot of fucking workouts with them. Deadlifted, I did 800 for a single, or 801.4 for a single back in March, and then recently for a double, and then I did all my workouts this last cycle with those straps, remaining deadlifts and normal deadlifts. And to keep it from sliding around on the bar when you put it on. So, say this is the spot, and you normally put your hand like right here. That's where the chalk would be. Okay, so the figure 8 strap doesn't go like right where your hand would be, and like the normal strap, and then you put your hand over it and it doesn't move. The figure 8 strap goes off to the side, like over here, so that it fits tight. And then I also do a thumbless grip, so that my thumbs are rubbing on my legs. And to keep the strap in that spot, you put some chalk. So you put some chalk where your hand's gonna go, and then you also chalk up over here. Okay, so you'll do like, I don't know, 7 inches of a 7-inch length of the bar with chalk on it. And it's really not going anywhere if you have a deadlift bar. If you ever use one of those, I have my black bar, the one I did the big lift with. That was a deadlift bar, and the knurling's really deep on that. But the silver bar is a 28 millimeter weightlifting bar, and so the knurling is more it isn't quite as coarse. If you're having a problem, if you're doing the switch grip or hook grip, although hook grip I'm not too experienced in, I just do my last warm up with the hook grip so I can pull really hard. Because you can't pull really hard with a double overhand grip, and that's what I do with the rest of my warm-ups. So if you're doing the switch grip, or if you're gripping onto anything, then maybe it depends on finger length. I have slightly longer fingers, but there's most people when they grip the bar, there's this fold of skin right here underneath the fingers, and that's underneath the bar. And so that's when they tear calluses, that's what comes off, okay? But if you have long enough fingers, then you want to grip it in the crease of the fingers right here. And so this doesn't get, this won't really get any calluses on it. Because then if you're just doing this, then you're not going to have a problem with calluses tearing. And that's the grip that I used to use. Well, I still use it for all my other lifts. Well, basically just chin-ups. And then when I'm doing my warm-ups, I have it in that crease, so that this fold of skin isn't getting stretched. And another thing is if you're doing a switch grip, when your hands, so it's like this normally, okay, that's symmetrical. But if you turn your hand 180 degrees, then the angle of your arm. So that this is the we'll say this is the pronated hand, okay. Okay, so the pronated hand's like this, and so this is your shoulder, elbow, and this is your hand. All right, and it's gripped onto the bar here. When you put the switch grip, when the supinated hand is on a less steep angle, okay. And so if you have your supinated finger, if you have your pinky finger the same distance from the center of the bar as your index finger is on your pronated hand, then when you pick up the bar, it's going to be lower on one side, and then you'll do the helicopter thing where it comes out in front of you. And so what you have to do, it depends on your arm length, you have to put the supinated hand out further from the center of the bar. And so for me, it was like an inch or an inch and a half. When I first started out, when I was first started getting serious about lifting again, I had the helicopter action for a while. I used to also roll the bar like the strongmen do. So I'd squat down, and then the bar coming in front would move ahead like 7 or 8 inches, and then I'd roll it back into my shins, and then try and pick it up at the right time. But I'd always pick it up. It was really inconsistent, and the bar would be out in front of me quite often. It's kind of like Chris Hickson would do that pretty often, where he'd pull when the bar's like 4 inches in front of his shins, and then he still gets the lift, and it's like 765. When I was in high school, Chris Hickson and I are about this. I think he's a little bit older than me, and I remember seeing his videos when he's in he's like 15 and he has a 485 squat. I'm like, wow. When I was 18, I did 405, and the guy's just a beast. When he was 18 years old, he did a hook grip deadlift, 800 pounds, no hitch. And he weighed probably 260 pounds, and he's like 6'6". He was a sleeper because he didn't look like he had any muscle, but that guy was super fucking strong. If you watch some of his old lifts where he'll be doing squat and he'll be doing his warm-up reps, it'll be like 405, and he'll squat down and then he'll launch up, and the bar will come this far off of his fucking back, and then he catches it again and then puts it back. Anyway, those are some deadlift tips. The best way to start is always in the same spot. The bar, when you're standing up, you're looking down at the bar, you're staying straight up. You look down without pulling your shins back, and the bar should be in the middle of your foot. And yeah, you shouldn't have a problem there. And before you lift the bar, you should pull the slack out of it so that you've loaded everything so that there's not a shock to your body when you go to pull on it. Or not because there's shock, but sometimes there's some people that don't pull the slack out of the bar, and then it's not as their drive off the floor isn't as controlled, it seems. One thing people don't realize is for building up the medial deltoids and the traps, overhead press is one of the best exercises for that, because when you're fully locked out like this, the traps are fully contracted. Okay, they're fully contracted, and also your medial deltoid, and especially the front deltoid, are really heavily loaded. And the rear deltoid gets. You don't have to do any of these like bent over lateral or bent over raises, okay? Bent over shoulder flies, that they call them. The rear delt gets a workout when you do your chin ups and your deadlift, in Romanian deadlift, because you're pulling on the bar with those muscles to keep it close to you. I mean, I don't know if you can see. No, you can't really see it, but it's there. Guy was asking me, the cheapest thing to add to your diet for more calories is a 4-liter jug of milk. Because you're talking about, because when I was at my biggest, I still had to spend a lot of money on food just because that's the world, that's the economy right now, and it's not going to get any better, unfortunately. Unless you can start growing your own vegetables, feeding the vegetables to your animals, and then you eat the animals. So eventually, I'll get some chickens, and you can get one egg a day, I think. And but anyways, yeah, I was spending $25 to $30 a day on food, and maybe $35 a day, Canadian. That in American, that's probably $24 a day. And the cheapest thing you can add is a 4-liter jug of whole milk is 2,560 calories. Okay, and if you're a smaller guy, then that puts you pretty far ahead. Because here where I live, well, you can get in Canada, you can get 4 liters of milk, and it comes in 3 bags. Okay, and so like 1.33 liters, times 3. But then there's the thing you put that in, and then you snip the top off with some scissors. But the better thing to get is just the plastic jug you get from like Circle K. And then there's a 25-cent deposit on it. And so here that costs, including the deposit, it's $8.25. But even if you got 2%, which is $7.05 here, 4 liters of 2% milk, $7.05, you still get I think you get 2,100 calories. And there's no fructose, as far as I know. I think it's just lactose. And so it's like 192 grams of sugar, but fructose is the thing you got to look out for. And yeah, if you don't have any problems absorbing the milk, because you'll know, because they say people are lactose intolerant. If you're lactose intolerant, it means that you're you're allergic to it and you can't have any lactose. But there's like a different degrees of your ability to absorb it. Like some people, apparently they'll have some dairy, and then 20 minutes later they'll be on the fucking toilet shitting their brains out. And unfortunately, that sucks. And I think gluten does that for some people too. But gluten products aren't nearly as beneficial for weightlifting as dairy products. I don't know, give that a shot. That's pretty cheap. And eggs are cheap. I still got to suck down those raw eggs. I'll pick those up later. That'll be my last meal. Those things kind of sit funny when you first put them in, but I think I just have to get used to it. And then the yolks, you have to
you know, it's like smooth, and then you have to open up your throat a little more because then the fat ass yolk's coming through. You're like swallowing a ball. It's gross. But lots of things that are good for you aren't very fun and enjoyable, like working out. But you'd feel worse if you didn't work out. Don't use the boomer logic, and whatever tastes good is good for you, and whatever is uncomfortable is bad.
Your phone was too slow.
Phone's no, it's Chad. It was his thumb. He's got slow thumb. The mod controller days are long behind him. That was when he could unload a Deagle magazine in about 0.3 seconds, right? In Call of Duty 4, that is. Yeah. So it's that time again. It's egg time. Yeah, I was trying to think of something, but brain's not working anymore. I already explained why. I'm an idiot now. But if you have muscle, then who even cares, right? Is this looking good? What? What? What are you doing? Do you film? Don't show them that. Okay, so is that? Oh, I'm gonna fucking blow this. I'm gonna blow this fucking sleeve right off. Okay. All right, here we go. Hey, bar was in the way, but I was right to the muscle, and I'm not having that as the only thing that I just ate because that's fucking gross. And if anybody tells you they like it, like my dad says that when he was a kid, he used to poke a hole in an egg and then suck out the stuff inside the egg. What is he, a snake? What animals do that? What is he, a bird? He's like lizards do that. Yeah? They'll like smash open the egg and then drink, suck it up. My dad's basically a lizard. I'm a frog. He's a lizard. Chad's a chicken. More fun stuff. Are we getting tired yet? No? That guy's been working on he was doing some endurance training. Now he can hold a phone for 3 hours. So he might get a Guinness World Record. We'll break it tonight. Keep those arms up, Chad. No shaking. That's going to ruin the whole video. All right. So, I'm looking pretty cool, I guess. Looking good?